Hello, everyone. This is Ma'am Sam again, and you know the drill already. Find a conducive place to study. This is not a podcast, this is a video lecture. So make sure you can focus. You are in a place where you can focus. Get a pen and paper so that you can take down notes of the important details during our lecture. And let's get started. So, for today, we're going to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino character. So, what is the purpose of this lesson? Knowing ourselves is the first step to teaching others. This topic, it would help us understand papaano ang ating mga cultural traits, kung papaano tayo mag-isip, kung papaano tayo kumilos, kung papaano tayo makipag kapwa-tao, papaanong yung mga yun nakakaapekto not just in our society but also in our educational system. If you could describe the Filipino in one word, what would it be? Siguro yung mga naiisip ninyo, oh, lahat totoo yan. But like every story, ours has both sunshine and storm clouds. Every coin has its two sides. So today, let's get to know ourselves better, not to criticize, but to understand. Because the first step to progress is to acknowledge. Because how can we teach our students to love being a Filipino if we haven't reflected on what that really means? So teachers are mirrors of the Filipino soul. So kapag naiintindihan natin both the beauty and the flaws of our culture, bukas ang ating mga mata, we become more empathetic and realistic mentors. Hindi lang tayo nagtatransmit ng subject matter. We become mentors as well. We teach values not just through lessons, but through how we live them. Paano isinasabuhay ang mga values. Okay, so let's start. Of course, this statement. So, schools are there for society. Their relevance is proven by their ability to address social cultural problems. Yes, education is society's way of healing itself. Schools exist. Bakit? Because the world needs better people. Doon tayo natututo eh. That institution shapes us to become better people, better citizens, better leaders, better versions of us. So when you look at your classroom, what kind of society do you see? Magulo ba? The noisy students, yung mga madadala, they are our joyful people. The late submitters, yung Filipino time. The kind ones who share snacks, bayanihan, di ba? So teachers, we are nation builders in disguise. Every class we handle, it's like mini Philippines, puro mini Philippines. So if we teach them well, we raise a better country. So again, schools reflect and serve society. And rep um I don't know if how many times, countless times I have repeated this already, but education is not only about academics. It is also about shaping values, correcting social flaws, reinforcing good traits. 'Di ba nga, sabi, teachers are agents of change, agents of social transformation. A teacher promoting clean as you go is not just maintaining order in school, they are addressing the wider social problem of lack of discipline and responsibility sa mga pampublikong lugar. A lesson on honesty. It helps us counter corruption, showing how education can shape citizens that are, or citizens who are fair and just. So let's start with the weaknesses. Weaknesses muna tayo. Okay. So let's start with honesty. No reflection is complete without looking at through our edges or through our rough edges. But don't worry, we'll keep it light. And after all, di ba nga, the first step to growth is awareness. So the first one, extreme family centeredness. Filipinos, we highly, highly, highly value our families, which is admirable, of course. But when taken to extreme, sabi nga nila, di ba, lahat ng sobra masama, it can lead to nepotism. It can lead to self-interest rather than the common good. We love our family so much that we sometimes forget each other's. That we sometimes forget, ay, may iba pa palang tao. Have you ever seen someone use their position just to help a relative? Is that still love? That is love, but misplaced. A barangay official hiring only relatives instead of more qualified people. A citizen voting for a relative kasi kamag-anak ko yan. Diba? Ganon kamahal ang pamilya. Tayong mga Pinoy, hindi nga tayo makakain ng snacks alone eh. Di ba? Uy, kain ka muna. Ganun tayo ka-family centered. Some parents, they pressure teachers for special favors, which can compromise fairness. Ikaw bilang guro, dapat alam mo ang code of ethics. Teachers may hesitate to fail a student who is a relative or a friend's child. So it results in lack of concern for the common good. Sarili lang ang naiisip. It is a block to national consciousness. In school, this becomes favoritism. Favoritism yan. Or lack of objectivity. So anong gagawin? Bilang mga guro, the teachers must extend family love into community love. You treat every student as a family, like a family, not just a chosen few. Every student. Hmm? Next one. Medyo marami-rami ito. Okay, next. Extreme. Ito na naman tayo sa extreme. Extreme personalism. We tend to take things personally. Talaga naman, ang mga Pinoy. We tend to mix emotions with professional relationships. And that makes us hard to separate personal feelings from responsibilities. We are having a difficulty separating objective task from emotional involvement. Kaya nagkakaroon ng corruption. Bakit? Ang mga Pinoy nauuna ang emosyon kaysa sa objectivity. We often take things personally. On the other perspective of personalism, a simple comment feels like an attack. An employee feels offended when corrected by a supervisor. Bawal makorek. Pagka kinorek, pinagdidiskitahan. Vice versa. Pinepersonal. Ganyan, di ba? Minsan, akala mo, syempre, iko-correct ka, mali ka eh. Yun kasi ang isa pa nating weakness. Hindi tayo marunong tumanggap ng pagkakamali. Lagi natin sinisisi sa iba. Iko-correct ka. Maayos naman ang pagko-correct. Pero iti-take mo yon as hate ka nila. Hate ka nila kasi kinorek ka. Ganun ba yun? Hmm. Tayo yan, ganyan tayo. We are a nation that can turn, uy, ang tahimik mo ah. Tapos magkakaroon ng investigasyon. Madami. Mahilig tayo magdesisyon eh, no? Pala desisyon tayo. Yan, ang mga Pinoy. Ang mga students, minsan, nakakaranas ng, ay, pinag-iinitan ako. Kapag kinokorek sila, mag-reflect din kayo. Mamaya, pag-uusapan natin yan, matatakal natin yan. So this trait, it affects classroom objectivity and academic integrity as well. So we should teach students to separate feedback from feelings. And ikaw din bilang teacher, pag mag-feedback ka, ang POV mo din ay dapat straight, no? Hindi yung magdedemand ka sa estudyante na ganun ang gawin nila tapos ikaw hindi mo kayang gawin sa sarili mo. So kung ikaw magbibigay ka ng feedback doon sa ginawa, hindi doon sa estudyante. Tumatak sa isip mo na ang batang ito ay makulit. So, ang tingin mo lagi, lahat ng ginagawa niya mali. Tama ba yun? Mm. So, it affects greatly affects the classroom objectivity and integrity. So, dapat maayos ang feedback. And si students, dapat alam din or ituro nyo sa mga estudyante that they should separate feedback from feelings. Honest correction and proper feedback, that is love. And sabi ko nga, teachers must also model giving feedback kindly and objectively. Pag magbibigay ka ng feedback, hindi doon sa tao, 'di ba? Maayos dapat ang pagkaka-construct. So there will be a lesson there. If I will be your teacher in assessment 2, ayan, meron daw isang lesson na tuturuan kayo kung paano magbigay ng proper feedback. Next one, lack of discipline. We joke about Filipino time, pero imagine if everyone truly valued punctuality and responsibility. Siguro sobrang advanced na natin, 'di ba? What small act of discipline that can change a whole system? Time management. Poor time management, procrastination, disregard of rules, they often result in inefficiency and poor outcomes. Ang mga Pinoy, hindi naman maipagkakaila, talented. We have the skills, we have the talent. Kaya lang madalas nalilimutan ng deadline. 'Di ba? Madalas hindi nagfa-follow ng instructions. Madalas late. Walang work ethics. Mm. So discipline begins saan? Inside the classroom. When we model time management, proper preparation, always following through, we train the students for real-world reliability. Not following instructions, anong gagawin pag not follow ng instructions? Sige, una pagbigyan, pero next time hindi na. Kasi pagka natutunan nila na okay lang na hindi mag-follow ng instructions, malaking implication yan pagka lumabas na sila sa society. And tulad yan ang sabi, magko-consider sa due dates, pero kaya nga may due date para may system tayo, 'di ba? Para efficient ang sistema. Pag hindi natin yung tinuro at ipinaintindi sa ating mga estudyante, papaano sila pag nagtatrabaho na sila? Wala silang matatapos na trabaho. Ganun yun. Speaking of that, and in relation to what is it? Extreme personalism. Yung mga ginagawa ng inyong mga teachers, minsan, especially these days, no, kailangan ng mga teachers, and yun naman talaga ang tama, kailangan mong ipaintindi sa mga estudyante mo kung bakit nila ginagawa yun, bakit nangyayari to sa kanila, bakit ganun ang consequences. Kasi kung hindi mo ipapaintindi, mami-misinterpret nila. So yun lang naman eh, no? Mag-establish ka ng rules, pag hindi nagawa, ipaintindi mo bakit nangyayari yun. Okay? Kasi pag hindi nila naiintindihan kung ano nangyayari sa kanila, paano sila susunod sa'yo? Next one. Passivity and lack of initiative. Some Filipinos wait to be told what to do instead of taking initiative. Totoo yan. 'Di ba ang national motto nga natin, bahala na si Batman. The bahala na attitude results in what? Stagnation. Stagnant. Hindi gumagalaw. Ano ba ang passive? You are receiving without responding. Many of us wait for just instructions. We are shy to lead. We are scared to make mistakes. We are scared to be criticized. Binigyan ng PPT para mag-advanced reading. How many of you said, bahala na si teacher, i-discuss din naman niya yan, instead of working something out for yourself? Students here in the Philippines, kahit college na, no, they still expect the teacher to provide all the answers. So teachers must awaken student agency, allow them to plan, allow them to decide, allow them to create. Learning becomes alive when students realize, ay, kaya ko pala. I can make change happen. Push mo sila as teachers. Kung alam mong may ganyan silang trait inside the classroom, kung ganyan ang mini Philippines mo inside the classroom, anong gagawin mo? Push mo sila. Kasi pag hindi at naging stagnant sila, that will hinder creativity and critical thinking. At ikaw din, pag ikaw naging teacher ka na, you don't rely solely on whatever you have prepared years ago already just for convenience. Instead of you creating engaging lessons that would suit and cater the needs of the students during this time, anong ginagawa? Okay lang yan. You rely on what you already have already. On what you already have. Redundant. Ano pa? You rely on others. Di ba mga Pinoy? Di na ako mag-work. Binibigyan naman ng ayuda. Sa ayuda na lang. Diyos ko. People keep on waiting for the government to help instead of starting community action. Isa pa, wala rin tayong lack of sense of, wala rin tayong sense of urgency. Parang we always think of the thought na okay lang yan. We have all the time in the world. Gagawin nila yan. Chill lang ako dito. Patay tayo dyan. Next one. Mm. This is the tendency to prefer foreign products, not just products, even culture or ideas over our own. Thinking ang mga imported brands, American standards ay mas maganda. We admire what is foreign more than what is ours. Have you ever noticed how they say, I imported? Talagang pag sinasabi nila yun, they say it with pride. Tapos pagka local, ay local. You see the difference? When a Korean brand opens in the mall, pila agad. But when it's a local cafe, we ask for a discount. Students value foreign languages and neglect Filipino or local dialects. And it is okay to adapt. Okay lang na matuto, 'di ba? You incorporate, pero not to the point na kakalimutan nyo yung sariling atin, tama? Our local culture, our traditions. This trait weakens our national pride and identity. So what should you do as a teacher? Education, dapat it should celebrate Filipino excellence. You localize your lessons para hindi nila malimutan ang sariling atin. Localize. Kung anong meron dito sa Pilipinas, kung anong meron sa ating lugar, yun ang gamiting example. I-relate ang mga lesson. Next one. Kanya-kanya syndrome or crab mentality. So, kanya-kanya means, individualism. Pero to the point of selfishness. Doon tayo sa negative side. And crab mentality, ano yun? Pulling others down out of envy or competition. And it is usually done by chismes, intriga, and unconstructive criticism. Coworkers, nagchichismisan about someone's success, 'di ba? Hindi sila masaya sa pagka umaangat yung isa, kaya pagchichismisan nila, gagawa nila ng kwento. Yan. We sometimes compete too much or pull others down instead of lifting them up. May mga na-experience na ba kayo ng mga classmates na sinasabotahe ang isa't isa para lang sa higher grades? Kung meron lang crab mentality Olympic, siguro we Filipinos would probably pull each other off the podium bago pa may manalo. So ikaw, bilang future teacher, future educator, dapat you build collaboration over competition, 'di ba? Kasi hindi natin maiiwasan. Merong mga estudyante talaga that are reluctant to help classmates because they see them as rivals. And that mentality, it would disrupt teamwork and the spirit of bayanihan in schools. Kung yun ang gawain nila inside the four corners of that small classroom, paano pa pag lumabas sila ng eskwelahan? So you reinforce collaboration over competition through group tasks, peer mentoring, classroom kindness policies that would help students celebrate other success. Always instill in their minds, 'di ba? Have them have them inculcate the thought na wala sila sa classroom para magkaroon ng competition. Tapos na tayo sa era na 'yan. Kaya nga wala ng sectioning eh, 'di ba? Kasi ang gusto natin, iisang goal, lahat tayo aangat, lahat tayo magtatapos, lahat tayo papunta sa success. Next, lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. So some Filipinos, siguro nga, madalas, no? Almost. Most of the Filipinos. Ayan ang problema natin. Yung sinasabi ko kanina, mahilig tayong manise, but we rarely, seldom lang tayo nagre-reflect on our own mistakes or nor evaluate ourselves critically. So this is the tendency to be very superficial and somewhat flighty. We rarely pause to ask, what can I improve? Minsan we are busy surviving, not examining. Kaya, ano nangyayari? We tend to make the same mistakes again. Repeating the same errors without learning from them. Okay na yun. Malaga tapos na yung quiz. Nung nag-retake, binigyan ng chance para mag-retake, mababa pa rin ang score. Bakit? Hindi nagkaroon ng self-analysis, hindi nagkaroon ng self-reflection. Tapos pagka bumagsak sa midterm, sino ang sisisihin? Si teacher. Si teacher ang may kasalanan. Without having self-reflection, ako ba, ginawa ko ba yung part ko bilang estudyante? 'Di ba? When was the last time you asked yourself, am I the kind of student I wish I will have in the future? Is this the personality my students will wish to have in the future? Students blame teachers for low grades without reviewing their own study habits. As for teachers, they seldom reflect as well on their teaching methods or classroom management. Self-reflection, it is a key to lifelong learning. Kung wala ang self-reflection, growth will be limited. So ang teacher, it should model reflection. They should model reflection. Bakit? Ano ba kahalagahan ng pagre-reflect? The reflection, pag ikaw nagre-reflect, it deepens not just the knowledge, it also deepens your character. Okay? Next one. Diyos ko, para tayo dito, nagre-recollection. Nagre-retreat. Okay. Yun nga, mahalaga, no? Sana nakakapag-reflect tayo habang nakikinig sa lesson na ito because we are looking at the mirror. We are reflecting. And then later on, we will try to think of a way. How are we going to counter these weaknesses and turn these into strengths? Ayan. So letter number 8, emphasis on forma rather than substance. So this lack of analysis and emphasis on form is reinforced by an educational system that is more than substance. Pag maganda ang design, mas mataas ang grade, hindi na tinitignan ang content. Nasanay tuloy si estudyante na gagadahan ko na lang ang design at hindi naman tinitingnan ni mama ang content. Kinapi-paste ko lang naman ito sa Wikipedia. Sa Wikipedia pa ikinapi-paste, Diyos ko. You are decorating a project beautifully, but you are missing the accurate content. Fan tayo ng beauty, ang mga Pinoy. We love beauty. Classroom decorations, di ba? Basta, gusto natin laging may abubot, mga anik-anik, di ba? Have you ever experienced spending more time in designing rather than researching the topic or content sa inyong output? Kung titignan ninyo ang mga rubrics na meron kayo, mas mataas ang accuracy of content kumpara sa creativity dahil yun naman talaga dapat ang vina-value. Substance is greater than style. So this trait, it reinforces surface learning lang instead of deep understanding. Instead of them magre-research ng todo, okay lang kasi babawin ko na lang sa design. O Paano maitatama yon bilang mga teacher? What are you going to praise? You praise clarity, you praise effort, you praise honesty, not just the visual appeal. You praise the substance. You show them you show them that real beauty is depth of understanding. Yun yun. Pag nakita nila na, hindi masyadong importante kay ma'am ang design. Ang importante sa kanya yung substance, yung content. Siyempre, anong gagawin nila? They will follow through. Kayo ang leader, no? So now let's have the strengths of the Filipino character. Now that we have looked into the mirror, let us see the brighter side. 'Di ba? Let us see the heart that makes us truly Filipino. Ito na yung mga naisip ninyo kanina that makes you proud to be Filipino. So Filipinos, we are known for traits that make us ano ba? Compassionate, resilient, adaptable. So ayan. Number one, pakikipagkapwa-tao, deep empathy and connections, helping others voluntarily, di ba? Sa education pa, paano nakikita yan? Peer tutoring, di ba? Hindi nyo naman matitiis na ang katabi ninyo pag kinalabit ka at nagpaturo, hindi mo tuturuan. Siyempre, tuturuan mo yun. Peer tutoring, collaborative learning. What else? Ayan na nga, family orientation. But not too much because it becomes a weakness. Joyfulness and humor, optimism even during hardship, being resilient, smiling despite so many problems. Mm. Ang teachers sa classroom, paano yan? Ang teachers, we use, talagang ginagamit ang humor to make learning engaging, kahit corny, no? Tinatry ang best. Ano lang, maging light lang ang discussion. Mm. Hindi mawawala yan. Talagang may humor ang mga Pinoy. Miski nga mga estudyante, 'di ba? Pagka antukan na ang mga kaklase, magjo-joke bigla. Hmm. What else? Hard work in industry, of course. Hard work. Willingness to sacrifice for loved ones. Connected siya sa family orientation, no? Para sa pamilya, para sa pangarap, padayon. Di ba may mga term tayong ganyan? That is one of the best traits ng Filipinos. Ang OFW, saan natin nakikita yung hard work in industry? OFW, iiwan ng pamilya para sa kinabukasan ng mga anak. Magtitiis mag-isa sa ibang bansa para sa mga anak, para sa pamilya, para sa magulang. At ginagawa rin yan ng inyong mga guro. Teachers, they are working extra hours for preparation of your lesson para pag humarap sila sa inyo, maayos ang inyong matututunan. Flexibility, adaptability, and creativity. Ability to adjust to change. Masyadong creative. Talaga naman. Sobrang creative. We adapt also to challenges like disasters, 'di ba? Diyos ko, binabagyo na nagawa pa ng video, ng mga meme. Ayan. Ganyan tayong Pinoy. Mabilis tayong mag-adapt, mabilis, flexible. Kaya gustong-gusto tayo ng mga foreign employers. 'Di ba? Dahil sa mga traits na ito. What else? Faith in God, source of hope and perseverance. Madasalin tayo. And we are very, very hopeful in nature. Pasa saan ba't matatapos din to at giginhawa din ang buhay natin. 'Di ba? Lagi tayong hopeful. We always draw strength in times of burnout or low morale. 'Di ba kahit kaibigan, no? Pag nakita down ng isang, kaya mo yan. Laging ganun. Dasal tayo. Ability to survive. Ayan. Ability to survive. That connects to all of the strengths written above. So kung ang Filipino spirit, kung gagawin natin siyang estudyante, ano kayang estudyante yun? Yung nakakatawa, na hindi nagdadalawang isip tumulong sa iba, pero sometimes late, pero sincere. So, ganun siguro yung Filipino. Filipino spirit, kung ilalagay natin siya sa isang estudyante. Now, ayan. So there is so much good in the Filipino, but so much needs to be changed too. Many of our strengths as people are also sources of our weaknesses. So we are warm and caring, but this leads us to lack of objectivity. We are concerned with people we know, but unfair to people we don't know. We compromise precision and discipline. We are joyful with a sense of humor, but we cannot take things with humor all the time for serious problems that we need to have a serious analysis with. What else? Our faith in God is a source of strength, pero sometimes nagiging masyado tayong dependent on forces outside us, wala na tayong ginagawa, 'di ba? Parang pinagpapasa Diyos na lang natin palagi. We are good in pakikipagkapwa-tao so that we can easily empathize, but at the same time, mainggitin kang tao, 'di ba? Hardworking ka pero pwede kang hardworking ka pero tamad ka and passive ka sa workplace. Ay, ganun, contrasting, no? Ayan, next ano na yan. Okay, so our strengths can serve or can turn into weakness if too much, no? But however, our strengths can serve as tools for transformation, of course, when we consciously apply them in community life, in learning, and as future educators in teaching. Many of our weaknesses come from the same root as our strengths. Ang technique lang dyan is to find balance and redirect the energy. Always redirect the energy toward the positive growth. Our weakness, hindi naman yan failures, di ba? Magkaiba yun. Magkaiba ang weakness sa failures. Ang weakness, they are strengths. Kaya lang, nasa wrong setting. What if we used bayanihan to overcome kanya-kanya? Di ba? What if we use our faith to overcome passivity? Our discipline as teachers to overcome our students' lack of discipline. We can extend the same love and care we have for our families toward our classmates, colleagues, and community in schools. Ang mga guro, they can encourage service learning where students help each other, not just their own circle. What else? Our natural warmth. Natural sa atin yan. It can be guided by professional compassion as well. So from extreme personalism, mapupunta sa empathy with objectivity. So teachers can model how to give feedback with empathy, but without bias. Students can also learn separate personal feelings from academic responsibility. At you should understand that being corrected means being guided and not being attacked. If you have that mentality, that would transform emotional reactions into emotional maturity. Ano pa? From lack of discipline. Pwede natin yang i-turn sa hard work and faithfulness. Kilalang kilala tayo sa sipag at tiyaga. Oh, as future educators, you can tap into this trait by connecting the discipline values like faithfulness, respect, responsibility. Yan. For example, always integrate, no? Ayan. When you arrive on time and finish your work properly, that's a form of honesty and respect sa kaklase mo, sa teacher mo, at dahil honest ka, syempre, kay God din. Hard work now becomes not just an effort. Pagka ganun ang mindset ng mga bata, hard work becomes a moral habit. Ma'am, paano yung passivity? Ano gagawin natin doon? Pwede mo yung i-turn into flexibility and joyfulness. Yung bahala na mentality mo, it can be redefined, redirected as trust with action. You are not just waiting passively. You are moving forward kasi meron kang faith sa sarili mo. Siyempre kay Lord din. So, kung ikaw teacher, hindi ka mag-explore ka, no? You can make lessons interactive and project-based para yung mga estudyante, madedevelop nila yung paano sila hindi matatakot. Dapat magbibigay ka, ipupush mo sila, no? Magbigay ka ng mga activities that would help them develop their confidence and their initiative. So, wag laging close-ended ang questions mo. Hayaan mo silang mag-explore. So, by linking flexibility to creativity, di ba? Lagi nilang, let's find another way. Ano ini-encourage natin? We encourage resourcefulness and initiative instead of waiting to be told what to do. E paano yung colonial mentality? Innovate Filipino versions. You highlight yung mga local accomplishments. How can we solve this problem the Filipino way? Yeah, lagi mga ganyan. Always incorporate yung culture. So, we nurture our original thought and at the same time, we build the love for our country. Mm. Ano pa? Yung self-reflection. O, paanong gagawin dun? How are we going to redirect that? We could turn that to faith and self-awareness. Tayo yung mga religious, di ba? Our deep spirituality, it could lead us to self-examination and humility. Paano yan? Pagawin mo sila ng journals. Short, quiet time moments so they could reflect and so that they could assess their own actions and goals. Di ba? So inside the classroom, hindi ka lang nagko-cultivate ng intelligence, you're also cultivating their inner wisdom. It's okay to make mistakes, but you must do something so that that mistake won't happen again in the future. You help them learn from both success and mistakes. What else? We can also redirect our love for presentation into love for meaning. Ayan. So during project grading, again, sinabi ko na kanina, no? Yung originality and understanding, accuracy and content, pag kayo ay naging teacher, dapat mas mataas yun kaysa sa creativity and design para yung mga estudyante mo ma-encourage na mag-isip deeply rather than you focus on appearance. So overall reflection, di ba naitawid natin yung mga weakness into strengths using education? Education is the bridge. Education is where these transformations and these transitions, redirections begin. Being teachers, are in the best position para mag-reshape ng Filipino traits, not totally erasing our character, not by rejecting culture. Hindi tayo magka-cancel. We are just going to refine, rectify, redirect. So if we use our warmth, our faith, our resilience, and even our humor purposefully, we could create classrooms that not only produce achievers, but also ethical, reflective, at community-oriented na mga mamamayan ng bansang Pilipinas. Sabi ko nga, teaching is what? It is different from educating. Because if you are teaching, you are just imparting knowledge and skills. But when you are educating, that is a broader concept. You are fostering the holistic development, overall personal, emotional, intellectual development of the student. So I hope you'll not just be a teacher. Kaya nga ang tawag sa inyo, future educators. And to end our discussion, I would want you to remember that being a Filipino, it's a beautiful mix of heart and imperfection. As teachers, ang role natin is not to erase kung ano man ang nag-exist na imperfection, but to guide them toward purpose. Paano magkakaroon ng purpose? Paano magiging purposeful yan? Let's teach our students na ang pagmamahal sa ating bansa ay nagsisimula sa pagkilala kung sino ka, kung sino tayo, kung ano ang ating strengths, kung ano ang ating flaws, 'di ba? So next time someone asks, what makes Filipinos special? Ngiti ka lang. Tapos sabihin mo, we are still a work of art in progress. So that would be all. Thank you so much. I hope na-refresh at nakapag-reflect tayo bilang mga Pilipino at bilang mga future educators. So thank you so much and I will see you on the next one. Bye everyone.